Wirex is a London-based fintech company established about 3 years ago, and at the moment we are the global leader of cryptocurrency debit card market with almost 1 million customers in more than 130 countries. We are backed by big Japanese financial institutions, SoftBank and SBI Group. So probably some of you have heard about SoftBank Vision Fund. It's quite big. And this year we have transacted more than $1 billion US. What benefits from technical point of view virtual money has and can give us? Bitcoin actually is the most traceable currency in the world. People new to Bitcoin might think it's totally anonymous, but in fact, all transactions are recorded on a blockchain and publicly available to view online, which is great for AML, for fighting with corruption. And I'll give an example here. So probably some of you heard about WannaCry virus. So it affected a few companies here in UK and in the rest of the world. The hackers demanded payments in Bitcoin. But because it's all on a blockchain, we can actually track how much money is on these addresses, where they going to, how they spend. So blockchain and Bitcoin protocol allow us to track all these payments and eventually catch hackers. There was a question from the audience previously about how you check in doing AML or source of funds checks. So Elliptic is a UK company specializing on AML for Bitcoin payments. So another benefit is microtransactions. So micropayments is essential part of the Internet of Things. So by 2020 there will be 25 billion of connected devices. Connected devices in this case means device connected to the internet. It might be smartphone, it might be vending machine, it might be smart parking meter, whatever. So you can't do microtransaction or machine-to-machine payments on a global scale with traditional banking instruments. It's not possible, and it's where virtual currency can help. Blockchain transactions irreversible, so there are some benefits for merchants, like no chargebacks. And I'd like to focus on this last benefit, is the value transfer. So cryptocurrencies are ideal for value transfer, for cross-border international payments. I can send money to somewhere in London the same time, the same fee, as I send in money to people in Africa where people don't even have a bank account. So it's far cheaper and far faster than traditional banking instruments.
Everybody, and thanks for hanging in here. That there is a new crowdfunding, there is a new way in which people want to liquidate what are currently assets and securities. And I think, by the way, I don't do slides, so that's it. You're not going to get anything else from me. I will explain some of the words. John didn't explain fungibility. I can't believe that. It just means things which are interchangeable. It's a legal term, comes from the Latin fungi, which means to perform. And it's to be able to transfer equally between two things. So it means I can exchange my security for John's security. I can exchange my Bitcoin for an Ether. It's the ability for currencies to be changed. And so it's how you can spend stuff. It means you can buy goods and services using pound notes. I think we probably know what flexibility and liquidity means, so that's okay. But I think what has really happened with this whole ICO thing is opened the eyes of people to what the benefits of distributed ledger could do to society and where we're moving across multiple areas. So in the past, we'd always had IPOs as ways of raising funds. And we've got these very, very Victorian things called shares, which are pieces of paper that you have to trade on specific exchanges in order to be able to liquidate them. And again, you're pretty limited. You can't necessarily easily transfer a tenth of one of your shares or a millionth of one of your shares. And you have to do it through known exchanges, and private company shares aren't tradable at all, except individually, and public company shares you trade through stockbrokers and other means of the world. In our sort of nanny state that we have, want to protect individuals against losing their money, and there's always stupid individuals that will bet their money against things they shouldn't be putting their money into. At the moment, most ICOs are a simple white paper, and people just invest into them. It was very interesting. I saw Chris Skinner article on why he was investing in ICOs, and he was doubting. He put a whole question of self-doubt. Why am I investing in this ICO? I was going to put 5 Bitcoins into it because I could. And he said, but have I really gone through and done my proper due diligence on the people behind the ICO? Have I done my proper due diligence on that white paper to see it stacks up? And they said, but at the end of the day, I know if I cash out within 3 days of the ICO going through, and I've managed to get some of my tokens at the ICO, there hasn't been an ICO that hasn't at least gone up a bit in those first 3 days. I was speaking to a hedge fund at Money 2020 in Copenhagen. They put £1 million into a ICO and got a 30x return on 3 weeks investment, which was higher than anything they'd ever got before. Mm-hmm. Whilst there is hype and pumping on these ICO prices, A, you're going to get the government pushing against them because they don't want this hype and pumping. But secondly, you're going to create this situation where they are the new penny share and everyone is going to hate them. What we really need in this area is some form of regulation that can work without taking away from the issues we've got, and some means of creating a means to allow people to invest at different levels based on their ability to understand what they're investing in. And once we've got that with ID, I think ICOs will be the new token of the 22nd century. With that, no more ado. I have got a paper, if anyone wants it, you can get it off of me. It's on the Locke Lord website under my name, which covers about 45 countries and tells you what the Bitcoin and distributed ledger regulation is, and it's updated about every 3 months, so it's quite useful if you're interested in this area. Other than that, thank you all very much. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and thank you.
That some people are willing to pay to borrow Bitcoin in order to short it. These interest rates are going to be very important for contracts that are crafted in the borrowing and lending in the capital markets for Bitcoin. We're seeing the beginning and emergence of a capital market. Okay, I want to end with the policy implications of Bitcoin on monetary side and fiscal side. In the post-legal tender age, we're all going to need to know how to thrive in a world without central banking. The trend towards monetary decentralization will alter and outlive traditional political institutions. I mean, you can call me crazy, but I think the Bitcoin is going to outlive the euro. It's already outlived some political currencies. And you can see that political currencies don't last forever just by going to a flea market and going in one of those coin and paper bins where they're selling all the old currency from years past. Our money in our wallet will soon be in those bins, but Bitcoin won't be in the bin.